Ooh, who's that?
After all that, we finally made it.
Yep. Which, as per usual, we're only 21 minutes late today.
Yeah, so we're right on time. Please
So,
introduce yourself. It's such an honor to have you on tonight, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Vera Bermenko. I create original music, but I also do covers and entertain. And I'm an electric violinist, and I've been making music since I was 7. So, yeah. Good to see you all. How are you doing?
Oh,
right
doing
on.
all right today for sure, man. It's a gorgeous
Yeah,
day
can't
out today.
complain. It actually did turn out to be a beautiful day today, and the girls and I spent the entire day outside where we
Nice.
belong. So,
That's great.
how was your week? What did you do?
It was
What were you up to?
it was actually a good week. So I had 2 days off for spring break. Because I teach music. So yeah, I had 2 days off. And actually in the past 2 days, I've finally been able to relax enough to just write music and not worry about having to do something else that day. So that was great. I'm actually going to continue right after our show. I'm going to put on a track for a new demo, electric violin part on top of the song that I've written today. So I'm pretty
Nice.
excited to go back to it. Yeah. It's, like when you're in the moment, you want to just keep going.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, definitely,
No.
definitely. Well, I can certainly appreciate that. So we won't keep you too long, but we'll keep you long enough where we get some good information out of you. Oh no, I'm the same way. When I need to be somewhere, or I'm writing, or I just once you're in that groove, you don't want to be doing anything else. Even if you have to, you don't. You're not there. You know
You
what I
forget,
mean?
yeah, you forget about the world. You just want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's so
and
true.
as a writer, I can appreciate that, and I'm sure TJ as a guitar player can appreciate that too. Once you
Yeah.
get in the groove, you just don't want to change or move or stop or so. I get that
No,
Right.
definitely.
have you always, obviously, you said since 7 you've been into music. So you actually moved to Canada in 2003, was it?
Yes, I was
Yes.
17, 16 actually, and this year is a turning point in my life. I've spent more time in Canada than I have back home in Ukraine.
Oh, nice. I've
It's
actually
like
can say the same thing. I've been more time here in Canada than I have been in the States now.
nice.
I'm from
Well,
here. I
that's
spend more
great.
time in Canada than that's the end of my sentence.
Well, I love it here. I love the people here. I love everyone. Like, my fiance's family are Canadian. They grew up here, and the nicest people ever. And I feel like living at home was one stage of my growth. And I had very good education. I had very good role models. All my teachers were amazing. Always inspired me and encouraged me. Moving here, it's like a new stage. So I went to York University. I did my master's. But it wasn't just academic. I also started performing with my gypsy band, and we did gigs. So I've been so lucky every step of my path that I got both sides of the experience. I had academic experience in music, but I also had this kind of raw, live, in-person experience. I busked on the street in the subway TCC system here too. That I
Cool.
did. It was pretty fun. Then I did a lot of gigs and shows and clubs and restaurants and things like that. Like while people are having a nice time, you come up, you entertain them, you take requests. So it's a very interactive experience, and I love that. And I feel like that's what we're missing right now because of the pandemic. So we're not quite in a place to go out and just perform live, which is why many of us had to shift to things like this.
Yeah, here we are, right? With
Yeah, so
all
just
the
trying to.
technical difficulties and all, right?
I
No
never,
worries.
ever,
Well,
ever. Yeah, yeah. No,
the answer
I
was
never
open.
thought I would be in front of a camera. So I can imagine that, like, where you were when all of this started, did you see yourself being at the point you're at now? Or did you see yourself further or a little bit back more? Or like, where did you expect
Well,
yourself to be now, but, you know, versus where you are?
the funny thing is, for me, I'm actually in a convenient spot because I have been starting live streaming and I've had a podcast as well, which
Hmm.
I am going to relaunch with more interesting guests. So maybe you guys will come too.
Oh, 100%.
That will be great. So Yes, I have been kind of exploring this online world for quite a while. For the past 4 years, I've been trying to actively try different things and see what works and what kind of streaming services there are. How can I reach my audience to make them feel like I'm really there? The funny thing that happened before the pandemic. And so in a way, I was in a good position. I was quite well set up to just continue doing things online. All of my students right now are online and they're doing great. I know some people are intimidated by the change. They're like, oh, online, I don't know how we're going to learn violin, but we're doing it and we're doing great. I'm actually very lucky to be working with amazing people from amazing schools here in Mississauga Furnace Academy, Mississauga Academy of Music, who have been vigilant at providing the best experience for our students, even if we're online. We have so many new initiatives. We have online concerts, online challenges, different performance experiences for students, even teachers' concerts. I get to perform for my students, so that's great.
Oh, that's phenomenal, right? Like,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
now
I've
you
been
I'm
kind of,
going
also,
to start moving around a little bit.
I'm sorry?
I'm totally paying attention. I'm in the room. I'm just going to start moving around a little bit because I'm
yeah.
kind of doing two things at once.
No.
So my apologies for being rude, but I am here. I am listening. So can you
You
tell us
have
a
a
little bit more
bachelor's
about
in
your
fine art, do
Dixie?
you not?
Master's in music.
Or master's, sorry, yeah, not a
I have
bachelor's,
both.
sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Now you did that here in Canada then, like through
Yeah.
York University then, or?
Right. Because when I came in here, I was still doing 1 year in high school or 1.5 or something
Mhm.
like that. So it was actually November 19th, 2003 when we arrived here. And it could have been sooner, but the reason we were later is because after the 9/11 happened, which was a big tragedy for
Yeah.
everyone. So they started kind of relaunching the whole process of immigration, and a lot of people had to do it twice. So we were those people that had to do it twice.
Oh,
Anyway, I feel like I'm here at the right time. That I've met great people on my path, and many of them have inspired me. I've had the best teachers here too, and some of them were David Mott and David Ledove, Casey Sokol, Matt Brubeck. You must know the Brubeck Quartet. That's his youngest son.
yeah.
So yeah, I got to study with these people who have made history here in
Wow.
Canada. So
No, that's a lot of history here in Canada for you to
yes.
come on over here and be involved in that. That's got to be an honor
Yeah,
on,
that was
on
great.
your end there. So tell me a little bit about the Horseman there, the song I used for our little promo before the show there.
Yeah, so my first album, my first solo album that I recorded 2 years ago was inspired by my influence and my heritage, but also innovative ideas that I've acquired here while growing to the next level as a musician. And I realized that I'm really interested in these cultures like Mongolian culture, Tuvan throat singing, Kazakhstan, Yakutia. So they're kind of close to where I'm from because I'm Russian Ukrainian. I'm from Kiev.
Yeah.
My mom is Russian from Rostov on Don. My father is Ukrainian. I grew up in Kiev. I grew up in the woods, basically. Well, it's a city. It's a city,
Yeah.
but I always liked going in the woods, and I love the nature. I love the shamanism behind it, meaning that being inspired by nature sounds, finding the healing in its vibration. And I love writing music that is inspired closely by nature, by my roots, and these other cultures that I find similarities to my own. But also just in general, putting together things that I stand for kind of all into one.
Mhm.
Which
No.
brings me to that next album that I'm writing now, where I'm a little bit more clear to what I want to present in it. So we can talk more about that later. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not a problem, right? I was gonna say, like, is that where that healing end of music comes in for you? Because I know you're a big believer, such as myself. I've talked about it several times on the show about how music heals you, whether it's mentally or even physically in that sense, where it puts you in the right frame of mind. Is
Yes.
that a big part of your teachings when you're talking with your students and stuff, or is
Well,
it?
absolutely it is. Yes. A lot of them are beginners. So we kind of go down to the basics. But I have written a book. Oh, where
Oh,
is
no
it?
way! That's amazing. No, that's awesome.
I'm trying to frame it.
Yeah,
So
might as
in
well.
this book, it's more of a story of my life growing up until I was 25. It was published a while ago. Now I'm 34, so
Mhm.
it's been almost 10 years. So the idea in this book is to share my experience as a person, as a musician, and speaking about how everything in our life is a vibration, everything is a frequency. So if you think about it, like we are made of nothingness but
No.
vibration, right? So if you look into the particles that we're made of, there's so much emptiness between them, but it's filled with this vibration, and that's what basically keeps the life going. Movement, vibration, sound. So that's something that I'm a big sort of believer in, and I wouldn't just say believer, like I practice it. So for me,
Yes.
just the right kind of vibe, going to the woods, playing on my spirit drum, doing a little meditation, listening to the birds around me, it
Mm.
does have a healing effect on us because it has the power to shape physical structure of our bodies and our mind.
Oh no, I 100% agree with you on that. Like if it wasn't for music, I would have been gone long ago. You know what I mean? Like it really helped me through a lot of rough times and stuff when you were
It
just
does,
right
yes.
there at the
That's true.
end of it all, and that one song came on, and you felt it. Like you could feel that note,
Yes,
right? And away you go, right? So, well, Amanda's
absolutely.
ducking out for the evening, so but the show will go
Oh,
on, right?
that's okay.
I'm only ducking out until I get outside. I'm just kind of like making a commotion and noise, and I just don't want to be that guy. So I certainly will be back as soon as I am on the street
No
and I
worries.
am all like settled and not being noisy and such.
No problem. We
Okay.
got this. So tell me a little bit more about the dancing, because you're also a very accomplished dancer too, are you not?
Thank you. I actually never studied dance, so it's
No
something
way.
that
That's
came out of
all.
martial arts.
Hey, it all flows in the same, in that sense.
It's true. So, like I was saying, movement to me means life. And what makes us move better than music, right? So, to me, music is kind of the driving force behind everything that I'm doing. But I also love to explore movement and dance. And I have a lot of friends and colleagues, including in my gypsy band, who are dancers, who do professional dancing, and they're amazing dancers. Actually, one of my violin teachers at York University, her daughter was a professional, super awesome modern dancer who
Oh
lived in
wow.
New York and has a whole career in there. So I went to one of her shows and I was just blown away. I was like, I have to do more of that. So yeah, so this is kind of something that I started exploring when I was 12. I was really into martial arts. I had an amazing teacher. We did a class back home who taught us many different elements of martial arts, including all kinds of self-defense, karate, wushu, which is the Chinese breathing gymnastics. So to me, all of that together was not only a confidence boost, not only to improve my body and make me more stronger and more flexible and things like that, but it was to also explore in the way that I can sort of be in charge of my life, right? So I
Yes.
can add all these other elements into music and put them together and show other people too how music is everything. It's not just one thing. There's so many dimensions to it that we are trying to divide things into disciplines like, oh, this is music, this is dance, this is science, but it's not how our lives work. Only everything together in oneness works. So when we start to kind of employ all of these things together, that's when magic happens, right?
Yeah. No, it's
And
so
then
true
one of
though.
my students showed me Lindsay Sterling, and that was also like 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And he's like, Vera, I should do that. I'm like, you know what? I will. So yeah,
No, that's
and I started doing more of that because I was starting to watch people like her, like Lindsay Sterling. She's amazing. She's put a whole show out there. And
yeah.
I was thinking, hey, I can really put some of these moves to violin. And I started doing more exploration in that area and just doing some exercises. So when I practice, you can ask anyone who ever lived with me. When I practice my violin, I need a whole area. I'm just like spinning, doing splits and doing my exercises. Sometimes I'm only just doing this, but most of the time I do need a lot of space just to warm up and do different
Just to
things that
move.
I feel like I want to do in performance. Yeah.
No, I know with me it's just playing my guitar, throwing it around in the air, moving it around, and just
Woo!
doing that. I couldn't even imagine with a violin. I can play some notes without making it scream, but I'm not no master at the violin. But how was that? Like, was that a challenge to actually once, or did that take years to be able to just move around and dance with
Well,
the violin?
like everything, it takes practice. So when you reach some kind of level of proficiency on your instrument in a traditional way, like classically we stand, but we still move. We don't just stand, we still move with the music to make it easier to accentuate things and count and do rhythms. And then I started actually introducing my students to some extra exercises they can do, like practice your scales, but practice them standing on one foot and balancing,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of how I started too. I was trying to add an extra level of difficulty to what we were already doing, to kind of like an extra thing to multitask about, right?
Yeah.
To challenge yourself to do something way harder than what you're supposed to do in the end, so that you can grow. So when we're practicing, we're not just playing the same thing over and over, right? We're adding an extra challenge. So now count the beats, now add accents, now add bowings, now do this, do this, do this. Then now try to hop on one foot while you do it. Now
No.
try to do some squats while you do your rhythms, right? So all of these things eventually led to just naturally being more mobile.
Yeah,
And
more
I've always,
comfortable.
yes, and I've always loved movement. I've played in orchestras for about 6 years or so. I've played in orchestras at York University, also in Mississauga Symphony. So it was a great experience. And I love the orchestral sound. Everyone in that community is just so great and friendly. But what I found is it hurt my back so bad. Like sitting
Oh.
straight, sitting still, posing like
Mm.
this for hours. I just come home and I was just, collapse.
Oh, I could
So,
only imagine. Like,
yeah.
I'd rather be able to move, you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. So that's why I started doing more exercise before I do practice, after practice, before the concert, after the concert. And I started to feel more like I love the sound of orchestra, but I feel like I'm more of a soloist. So because I love to move around. Yes. So or do some kind of small band where we can all move around and just have fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you
See,
find
being
yourself.
from the States, there, a lot of their bands, they were all marching bands. And I was always amazed on watching them, even the tuba players be swinging their stuff around and playing, right? It was
Yeah.
just phenomenal how they organized it and put it all together. And it was better than actually watching the game. Like a lot of people just went, I know myself was just went to watch the band play, right? Regardless what they were playing. So
That's great. I'm actually upgrading in terms of that. So the traditional way of holding violin, you have to hold it between your shoulder, right? You have to hold it here. But I am getting soon, in a few months, it's finally going to arrive. We have been delayed because of COVID, but I'm getting Mark Wood's 7-string, Berbera equipped, phantom fretted, black gloss Viper, which is a super awesome, best instrument out there today for electric violinists. And it has a strap. So you're basically, it's attached to your body and you're free to like clap your hands and do cartwheels if you like. So
no
it's a
way.
whole new system. Yeah, it's going to change my life. And I'm trying to not write too many songs on my new album because I want to save a few just to write on this instrument, because I'm going to have 7 strings. I'm going to have the
Yeah.
lowest B flat, which is your like second last string on the bass. So it's going to be a whole new world. And I just can't wait. And I was so lucky to actually have Mark on my show a year ago, 2 years ago, before the pandemic, well before.
Yeah,
And he
right.
showed me his early inventions and how he played with the Trans-Siberian Symphony, Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yes, of
So
course.
yes, so Mark Wood was the initial member of this group, and he showed me the instruments that he invented before Viper that
Oh,
had
wow.
some interesting, like one of them shot rockets out of its neck. Yeah.
That's
So that
awesome.
was so fun to do.
No, I've seen you do a few metal covers too. You did a Metallica cover and a couple others. How do you like it's like your normal listening music? Do you listen to Metallica and like
Yes,
Megadeth and the top
yeah, I
five,
love
and
it.
Slayer? You love it
I love
all,
it.
eh?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
absolutely. And actually, I was first. Hi, I was first introduced to metal.
You said
And
metal.
Yes.
So here I am.
I was first introduced to metal in grade 5. I think my friend at the time at school, like everybody knew that I was learning classical music, and my friend brought me one of those tape cassettes, that you could rewind with your finger.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, of
yeah.
course.
Yeah. So he was like, "This is Rammstein. I want you to listen to it this week and see how it blows the Mozart out of your butt." So I remember I listened to it. I was like, it's interesting. So I brought it back. I was like, yeah, that was really cool. Thanks. I think that was probably one of my first inspirations in metal. But I've always
goes that
found
question.
it to be, yes.
No, I said, there goes that question later.
So basically, I've found that all the musical styles I was learning, be it classical, be it rock, metal, transcendental, spiritual music, they all have something in common. And to me, that thread continues through all the genres. Like it's never separate. It's just like in our lives, like we were saying
Hmm.
earlier, that we're trying to separate things into disciplines. So this is music, this is dance, this is science, but it doesn't work like that. It only works when it's all together. So I often like to go back to Bach, because Bach is one of the composers whose theory can work for any genre. Any, like, you play Bach with metal track, it works.
Yeah, it's
You
so
play
true
Bach
though.
by itself, it works. Yeah. So things like that he and other composers were able to explore and sort of see how there's nothing entirely new under the sun, that everything has been done in one form or another. It's just today we're so lucky, we have so much technology and tools and studio equipment that we can create a unique sound with. Back in the time, they explored it in a different way, but now we're doing it in a little bit differently.
Even
Yeah.
like just using electronics to
Yeah,
manipulate the sound and to master the
exactly.
sound, you know. But
Yeah,
you do a lot of live, like play live and stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
on your
I love it.
show. Tell us more about your actual show. Like I know you jam a lot, and then you said you've had guests on. How long? How long
Yeah.
you been doing that? How's that been going for you?
Well, I jam on Sunday Live. So Sunday every week, we just have a live stream where I share with my audiences my process on creating my new album, some tracks from my last album, some new covers that I really like Metallica, right?
Yeah.
And then this past season, Christmas, before Christmas holidays, we were actually able to put together an online concert. So that was the first time that I got into all of the Zoom and streaming services and like how to do a concert. So until then, I would just go live from my like phone or my computer or something like that. So now I feel like I'm getting into improving the quality of it. So I discovered Restream. Actually, my boss introduced me to Restream when I interviewed him on the show. So that was great.
Yeah, right.
You learn with every step, right? My students have shown me a lot of neat little tricks on how to improve your audio and video and things like that. So my students probably know more than I do. So
Oh
thanks, guys.
no.
Yes,
I
and
can
it
identify with that.
yes, it's been a journey, right? So my actual podcast is called Musician Today, and we are on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're there. So those are actual audio files that I
Just
create
the
after the
audio
show.
files,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So, but the videos are on my YouTube too. So whenever I have guests, I try to do like what you guys doing, so we can see everybody, right? So we can
Yes,
get to
right.
chat with everyone. We had amazing bands. A lot of them are based in the US. A lot of them are wood violin artists who have been in touch with Mark Wood and love his instruments because I'm passionate about it. So I've been interviewing everyone who has a Viper. And singer-songwriters, we had people like Taylor Davis, viral violinist on YouTube. We had my friend Bridget O'Regan, who is a viral violinist here in Toronto. And all these amazing people that just inspire me to keep pursuing what I'm doing. And I started doing that for the reasons of learning myself. So I was
Mm.
curious to see how these people did what they did and where they started and how they're going and what they're doing today. So, and it turned into more of a community where we sort of did some projects together. We did a collaboration with 8 other artists. I have some friends in
Oh.
Pakistan who have done a lot of tracks with me during the first wave of COVID lockdowns. So we've been doing a lot of work and just keeping it alive, providing something for people to sort of enjoy during this time that many of us view as a downfall of civilization, but it's not. It's an opportunity, right? So when we
Hmm.
have to do something like this, it's a good idea to see it as an opportunity, because now is the best time to create something so unique that has never been done by anyone else, and it has to be you who will do it, right?
Yes, that's
So
so
this is
true though.
my
Like
this is my kind of feeling about this whole lockdown situation.
it gives you time to focus on what you're supposed to do in that
Yes.
regards, right? Like,
And of course, we have all cried into our pillow at some point
oh
during
yes.
the past 3 weeks.
can't
but
can't
once you
deny
get out
that.
of it, once you get out of it, try to see like, oh, what can I do? So yeah, I'm not like out there performing with Hans Zimmer. I know people who do, and I love them. I just want to have them on
Hmm.
my show. But what can I do that's uniquely my path? That's my journey that I can share with my followers, with my tribe, with the people who are curious about what I'm doing. So what can I do that will not only be fun for me, but also provide value for them? So like live streams, like give them some free downloads of my music, invite them into my community, invite them into my Patreon, where I'll be sharing things that I don't post everywhere. So my process of writing music, it's not for everybody. It's only for people who are
No.
really curious about it, right? So yeah, things like that. That's what we'll be able to do.
Yeah, I'll get all those links off you the next day or so, and then we'll get
Sure.
them up on the channel. As I said, with all our technical difficulties, I'll share
No
up a few of
worries.
your videos tonight for sure after the show, so people can
Awesome.
see
Thank you.
your actual. I'll pick out my favorites. I'll definitely Horseman is definitely one of my favorites.
I love
So
it. Yeah, it's great.
that's a fantastic song. Now, the other song you sent me, can you tell me a bit about that one as well? That's another actually pretty good song as well, right? So.
So kolomyka is a Ukrainian traditional round dance. So you actually get in a group, you hold hands, and you dance around the fire. That kolo means round, circle.
Oh, okay. I
So-
wasn't gonna try and pronounce it. I'm a little rusty on my Ukrainian, right? But
no worries, no worries. So this is kind of like just a fun celebration of spring and summer season. So back home, we used to be pagan culture, so we would be very close connected to the earth, the nature, and we would have holidays that celebrated the harvest, the seasonal change, and things like that. So
hmm
kolomyka would be one of the things you would dance like as a young person, get together with other young people and just have fun and do like circular dance and sort of like appreciate the fruits that were given to you by nature this season and stuff like that. Oftentimes young people would actually jump over fire. This was a big sort of like fun competition.
I could
Don't
see
try it
that.
at
I might
home,
have done
guys.
that
Don't try it
a
at
few
home.
times, back in the
So
day.
yeah, so you would light a fire, and then somebody will try to just hop over it, and that get burned.
See, that's actually kind of cool that that's kind of universal because even when I was down south or opposed to Canada, because I was back and forth a lot throughout my life,
Mhm.
everyone did that. There was always one or two people that would jump over the fire, man, every time, right?
I haven't done it on purpose. Like I don't
Not
remember
on
doing.
purpose.
I want to make a video for this song. We don't have a good video for this song yet, so I would love
Mhm.
to make a really cool traditional Ukrainian style video with all of the mysticism behind it, with the fire, with all of
Oh,
these kind
yes,
of
the fog.
dances. Like yes, yes. So that would be great. If I get the funding, I will be happy to do it. So again, with the more I research about my own culture and the culture of other people that I'm inspired by. So here's the Kolomyka is Ukrainian song. Horseman is more of a Mongolian song, right? Which is why it's called Horseman. So Mongolian people are very in touch with nature and they communicate with their animals really well. So they're
Oh,
famous
yeah.
for horse riding, for knowing how to do it really well.
Oh,
And
they
you might
were
be,
masters of the horse.
yes,
That's how they were able to conquer so much of the known world at the time. Like they just rode and were able to do it. You know the band The Hun? They're a Mongolian,
oh no,
come
but
out
I
of
know the Who.
Mongolia.
The Who. I love the Who.
Oh, it could be the Who then, not the Hun.
Yeah, it must be them. I love them. That's it.
Yeah,
The
it must
song
be
was
them.
actually
They
inspired by them. Yeah,
right before lockdown, they played at the Opera House there.
nice.
Yeah, I didn't get to see them. They sold out instantly. I didn't even know other people listened to them over here, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll get a ticket, no problem." Right?
I love it. I love
Oof.
their Wolf Totem, the track Wolf
Mm,
Totem. That
yes.
was the one that inspired Mongolian songs on my album, like Horseman and Mountain's Call. So Horseman features the throat singing part that I couldn't do myself because a man has to do it.
Yeah. No, it's
um,
amazing how he does that.
yeah.
That's for sure. Like,
Yes. So I'm hoping to invite more actual live singers in that style to recording my album, my next project, which will be more of a darker experience. It will still be culturally influenced and folk metalish, but it will be a little bit more darker than this first album.
mm. No, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fantastic.
Thank
When
you.
it comes out, and me, even if you just get a single out for a little teaser for us, let us know,
Yeah,
and
we'll do that. Probably
we'll
Obsidian,
gladly.
since it's called Obsidian.
Yeah. Oh, love the name right there. I'm sold. I already know it's going to
Awesome.
be
Thank you.
awesome.
Well, if
Now,
anyone is interested, I do have these CDs for sale.
I was
Wait
going to
for it.
ask with your merch, because your book, your CD, make sure people know
Yes.
where do we find this? How do we get this
This
merch
could
off
be
of you?
found on my website, verabromenko.com. And you can just click to shop, verabromenko.com/shop. It's there. You can order it through I don't know if
Yep.
you can see. So you can order it there, and I'm the one shipping them. So if you have any problem with processing or whatever, you can always send me a message through there. I'm just literally signing them inside and sending them off to you. So we've had quite a few sales during the COVID, which I understand because people want to enjoy music while they're home.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, for
So
sure.
this is my first album. It's called Iron Fiddle Saga. And even though it's very personal to me and inspired by my heritage, but it's also being kind of driven by the fantasy writing of George Martin, the Song of Ice and Fire
Oh,
from Game of
oh,
Thrones. Yeah.
yes, yes.
So especially the first book. I've never read the Game of Thrones before that. So my fiance and I, he's an actor, so he was reading it to me and doing all the voices, and I was like, I love this. I love this storytelling. I love the whole, just way that he tells the story, the author. And I wrote half of my album then. And when the show came out, with the last season, that's when I finished writing it. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. You had to wait though, eh?
I know, but because I was new to it, it wasn't too long for me. It was actually all within about 1 year that I've
Yeah.
read the books, and then we watched the show. So
Oh, I always find the books are way better than the shows
yeah,
for the most
there's
part, right?
so much more minor characters and small plot developments that don't make it into the movie because I understand they don't have enough time to tell the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
But
Be a
those are one
10-hour
of my
movie.
Yes, those are my favorite. Those little side stories that give you like the backstory of this character or this character and why this happened. You're like, oh my God. Yeah. So my biggest inspiration in it was, of course, the snow wall, the ice wall. Yeah. And
Yes,
whatever
yes.
happens beyond it with all the beasts and monsters and zombies. And so, which is why the first song on the album was called Wall Brothers. And I am singing in it too.
Now you sing on that as well, then.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not much of a
You
singer, but I just, do some
had to do
vocalizing
it.
because I wanted to carry instrumental as my main genre through the whole album, but I do add some vocals. It's kind of, you can think of it as a cinematic piece of music. So it could be in a movie, it could be in a video game, it could be in some kind of storytelling visual
Hmm.
product. So my biggest passion, aside from performing and entertaining, is writing original music for film. And
Oh,
yeah, so.
have you wrote any amazing scores for some movies we've all
I
might have
have
seen, or?
scored things, well, not for big movies that are out there. I'm not like Hans Zimmer, even though I want to be soon.
Wow.
Eventually,
Yeah.
yeah. So I have scored things that my sister produced. She's a filmmaker. They own
Oh
a
wow.
sandwich fan production channel, and they have come out with an original web series, Marked. And I wrote the theme for the show, and the entire final episode was featuring my music too.
Oh shit. Where do we find that then as well?
On
Like
YouTube,
that's
Sandwich
all on
Fan.
YouTube?
Marked. Yes, they have been all around the different places and festivals before we started getting into the pandemic. They have been
Mm-hmm.
to New Jersey, they've been to Korea, they've been everywhere. They've taken the show on the road, yeah, and just shown it
Wow.
in different screenings and made lots of friends, and people love it. It's a great show. It's kind of a sci-fi, X-Files inspired slash more of a
Oh,
modern
nice.
thriller kind of thing, and
My
it's really cool.
favorite, yeah.
Yeah.
Sci-fi, definitely 100%,
Yes, yes.
right?
And I wrote a theme for that show. So like it made me so happy to see it on screen that when I'm like, cue the
It's
music,
almost
I'm crying.
yeah, it's surreal in that sense. Like there you are on the big screen,
Yes,
right? Like
yes.
no, that's
It's an
awesome. That's
amazing
awesome.
experience to know that your music has, you know, helped the story to be told. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's phenomenal. And the fact that the way you tell the story throughout the music, I find a lot of more bands are now doing that. They're writing, whether it's a concept album or a complete storied album,
Yes.
or it's a 3-part album telling different stories of a space opera. Some friends of ours are doing that right now. Like,
Yes.
uh, it's very nice to see again. I'm a big fan of concept albums. I like to sit down and listen to it start to finish and hear the story and feel the story as it plays out as you're listening to it the first time.
Absolutely.
So,
That's right. It's
oh,
inseparable. The visuals, the storytelling, the music. You can't separate it because like when you're writing music, you see the visuals. When
hmm
you're, when you're doing anything, it's a story. We are artists, so our biggest purpose is to tell our story and connect with other people through it.
no, it's so true, and you've definitely accomplished this so far. That's for sure. And
I hope.
I'm looking forward to hearing more new music coming out. Like,
Thank
and I'll
you.
be in touch with you for sure about getting a CD. And then, what do you have other merch other than the CD? You have your book as
Yeah,
well, right?
we do have some mugs and hoodies and t-shirts. It's all on my website. So verabormenko.com/shop. You can find a lot of things there. There's
Excellent.
also photo books, a photo shoot with pictures that we did in style of kind of Viking warriors. So we were dressed
Oh,
in different costumes, and you can
I
get
think
those too if you like.
there's a couple on the promo. Now you have some shots too with the horses and stuff.
Yes,
Are you
yes.
like are you around horses a lot and stuff, or
No, I wish.
yeah? Okay, I wasn't sure. Maybe you
Actually,
know.
this is my dream to live somewhere out in the woods and, have horses and giant dogs and everything. So I'm just lucky because my fiance's family have friends who have a horse and a donkey, and they were so kind to allow me to shoot a video on their area, right? In their private, what do you call it? Like it's
Private
not really
land.
a farm. It's more, yeah, in their land. And
Yeah.
there is definitely enough space for the horse to run around. So it's a big land. And I was just so lucky. So thank you to them. And he was so cute and sweet. His name's Teddy.
No, that's awesome. We used to have a donkey that lived beside us. It was on the field on the back side of us. I always said it was my neighbor 'cause he was always on our side of the fence, right? Back
Aw.
home there. Yeah, he was awesome though. Feed him carrots and stuff in the mornings. He'd eat all
Aw.
kinds of stuff. Yeah.
That's so nice. Yeah. So this
Uh,
is nice. I would love to live in a kind of a woods close to nature, but also have access to the audience to be able to
yeah.
share with people what I'm doing, which is, yeah, something that community in Guelph do really well. There's a lot of artists in Guelph who live that like that. So that's my
Oh
inspiration.
wow. Yeah, Guelph isn't. It's right in between us here, right? So, so, but
I have
is there
something to
any?
say.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I
Sorry,
have been super quiet through all of this because I'm making my way from my home down to the falls, and there's cars and there's like machines with music, and like there's not a flippin' soul out here. That's the falls behind me, by the way. There's not a soul out here.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
So, but I've been making tons of facial expressions listening because I'm just so fascinated. And like, I feel terrible that I had other engagements because
That's okay.
I have so much to ask you. We're going to have to do this again. Though you did
Sure.
answer my regular questions. So I can't complain about that. But like, I've been quiet for 38 minutes, which is unheard of. Unheard of. If you know me, I don't stop talking, but I really needed to get that like 120 seconds in of thank you so much. You by far are one of the best guests that we've had so far. I greatly appreciate
Aw, thank
everything that you're
you.
saying because it's something that is completely out of the ordinary for us, right? Like, I mean,
Thank you. I'm so
we
glad.
don't get your style,
Thanks for
your
having
or
me.
your personality for that matter on our show often. So I'm grateful, and I couldn't go any longer without saying something. So thank you.
Aw, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, you guys.
No, it's been an honor
Definitely.
tonight, man.
Great to be here.
When I reached out, I was already kind of watching some of your live stuff already, and then we've been talking for quite a few months now, actually trying to arrange
Yeah.
this. And then after our technical difficulties, man, I was like, ah, no, like we got to reschedule. But we'll only just be not even rescheduling. We'll just be having you on the show again now. So that works out great. Now that we know how it works, we've got it working on our ends, your ends, but perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, I would love to do it.
Oh, you're
Love to
welcome
have
on anytime. maybe next time we'll get you to do a little jam. I'll be a little
Sure. Yeah.
more. We'll try to upload a video and have it ready to go too.
Yeah, great. I'll have my everything set up here, mixers and mics and my electric violin.
No, perfect. And then once lockdown's over, we can always have you in-house at the table. We can have dinner and a conversation again. You know, you're welcome on anytime, right? So.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. It was a great pleasure.
Is there
it
anything
was a
else?
blast.
Is there any like? What are the local people like? Not local people. That sounded terrible. The
Wow,
local
DJ?
musicians that you are
That
listening
was a
to. That
technical difficulty
yeah,
right
most
there.
people are not listening to, like, that we don't know about yet, that are up and comers.
Well, in my experience of working with people and interviewing them, I've discovered a lot of great artists around Canada, actually, that I didn't know about before. So I have interviewed Ariana May. She's a singer-songwriter who lives in Alberta, I think. No, British Columbia. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, probably
So
right. Yeah.
she's going to be helping me on my album. A friend of mine from York University who has a doctorate in music, Nina Seufer, is an amazing artist who also does dance and music and plays and entertains, but also uses it for healing and develops unique methods for teaching music for just about anyone. I am going to be working with Eugene Draw. You must know Dr. Draw. He's one of the he was the pioneer in the fusion electric violin world, so everyone knows him for that. Now, since he started his career, the world of classical versus electric violin has changed a lot. So we will have him on our album too, and I'm really excited.
Oh, I can't wait.
I am working with someone who's a very unique artist who does stonework, who's from a Bear Clan in Mohawk tribe. Yes.
Oh.
So am I right? Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
So
we'll go with it.
his name is David Miracle, and he is a multi-artist. He does music. He plays an Iroquois flute. He's released albums that have sold millions of copies because his music is so transcendental and just in tune with us as humanity and nature. And it's amazing. I'm so lucky. We actually just had a coaching session this past Tuesday, and every time we have it, I'm like, whoo, I'm just like dizzy from all the things that I've learned. So these are all Canadian artists that I'm really so happy and proud to be working with.
Oh, that's
And
amazing to
I
hear.
keep discovering more. One of them I mentioned earlier, Bridget O'Regan. She does cosplay events. She was on Fan Expo, Anime North, just about anything. Before things closed down, she even managed to go to Orlando. They have actually invited her because her videos went viral. She just grabbed a violin and her team, production team, and they go
Off you
into bring
go.
people all of these cosplay events. And she's amazing. She's super fun. Yeah.
I'm right into cosplay. Yeah, I went to the Fan Expo. We did quite a few tours. I've been trying to get to the Dragon Con down back home in Atlanta, but this year and last year it was canceled when I was supposed to go down, right?
I don't know if you guys can hear. Sorry, go ahead.
So yes, I mean, there's so many artists that I have been discovering kind of for my own purpose, but also loving their music so much that I just had to have them come back and share more with us.
Yeah, of course. You can't argue with good music like that. Oh, I can too now. You can see the falls now too in the background.
We never, ever, ever, ever get to go live from here.
Oh.
So this is the American in the Bridal Veil Falls. And way off in the distance is the Horseshoe Falls. Unfortunately, my destination is away from those, but maybe next time. But yeah, we still have these falls. I don't know if you can hear the roar in the background, but I can hear that from my house. That's how loud the falls are, yeah, on a good day.
Wow.
Maybe when you're in house, we can shoot from the park right down the road and stuff, right? Have a picnic. Do a picnic in the boneyard. Right.
That's a fantastic idea.
I didn't realize how dark it is in my room.
Yeah, well, you know what? I can tell you the sun's going down pretty fast. It looks a lot brighter on camera than it actually is outside.
My Ghostbusters thing was about to start glowing.
I have the same shirt.
It glows in the dark.
So there's the Skyline Tower. Give you
Nice,
a little tour of the bottom of Niagara Falls. That's the casino behind me.
nice.
That's we call it the new casino, but it's actually called the Falls View Casino.
Yeah.
All the lights are starting to go on the Skyline.
Oh yeah, they're starting to turn
The
on.
restaurant, yeah, the restaurant up there takes a half an hour and it spins all the way around. You actually get to watch. You actually get to see the entire city
Yeah.
while you're eating dinner.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really cool. Actually, it's really cool.
Give a shout out to the bands we have coming on next week and stuff, and then tomorrow
That's a
morning we
great
got
idea.
I gotta mess their name up instantly now that I'm trying to say it.
Kingdom of Nightmares.
Kingdom of Nightmares on tomorrow morning. And then we have Cross Dogs coming on for sure for May 1st. They're a local band out of Peterborough. Nice punk band. Cold Shoulder coming from San Francisco, May 2nd.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that for now. So actually, do kind of want to brag. We do have Dark City, which is Moscow's #1 heavy metal magazine, going to be on the show on the 21st of May. So,
Nice.
and then we can't forget our local band, one of my favorites, In Vale. They'll be on the show there on the 5th.
Yay!
Or 15th, sorry, the 15th.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The first of the month is Cross Dogs, or did you say that? And I just didn't hear you.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm
so
gonna
immersed in the
fanboy so
sound.
bad. I've seen them live in I believe it was Kitchener or something at the Grey Goat. They played with
Nice.
Ship of Fools. The Reddies played a bunch of other local bands. Like it was great. Black Cat Attack, I believe. So hard to. That was a great night. That's over 2 years ago now. That was the last show I seen.
I know that like we've got this weird lockdown thing going on right now. We try not to say too much negative stuff about it on the show, but there's no people down here. There's no human beings down here whatsoever, and there's an abnormally large amount of enforcement down here.
Well, best of luck to you.
I mean, I'm just going for a walk, man.
Yeah. Mental health, right?
Well, yeah, that too. But I've been listening to a lot of Jordan Peterson lately, and love him or hate him. Some people love him, some people hate him. I just like some of the things he says. He's amazing. As far as some of the things he says, he's pretty great. Some people don't like him.
There we go.
Whatever. The one thing that he says that motivates me a lot is don't compare yourself to who people are today. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've been super quiet during this interview. You've been absolutely fantastic, and anything that I've spoken about since I've been here has absolutely nothing to do with anything you've done. So before we kick the world out and keep you to ourselves for a little bit longer, I'm curious to know about the gypsy music that you produce.
Yeah, so I've played in a gypsy band for about 10 years, and people from my band were from various places in the world, including Ukraine, Russia, but also Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, even Germany. So they were actual people who came from that culture, from that experience of like nomad, traveling musician, right? And unfortunately, there's a lot of prejudice around that culture, and a lot of people are being labeled as, oh, gypsy, that means you're a thief, but it's not true, obviously. So I've worked with an amazing couple who were singers and dancers, and we did so many great shows with them. And unfortunately, they had trouble back home where they are from, Slovakia, staying there because they were not permitted to work or engage in normal activities like everyone else. So they were then granted refuge in Germany, and they were just in the passing in here in Toronto, just going there, right? But so to me, I wouldn't claim that I'm a gypsy, but I have gypsy experience because of the band that I was playing in. And I've got to meet the people who were native gypsies, that they actually from that culture, and they've actually faced a lot of struggles and obstacles because of their experience. But I love the beauty and passion, the fire in this music, the thing that just gets you picks you up and gets you going just like that. So there's a lot of contrast between the sadness, the cry. So there's this thing you can do on the violin, make it cry with a slide,
Oh yeah.
or you can have a huge party and everyone's dancing. So I love that contrast, which is why gypsy music is probably the closest to my soul, to my heart. But I also love to combine the two and put it into like a gypsy metal. A lot of
Hey,
people have commented on my posts and saying, why do you call it gypsy metal? What does gypsy mean? So some people don't understand the term. Yes, there are other words, Roma, Romani, that mean pretty much the same thing, but are deemed to be more culturally appropriate. Um, I have asked gypsies that I know, I've asked people to comment, and I wrote an article asking them about the terminology and its use. We have bands like Gypsy Kings, like Gypsy Rebels, Gypsy Devils.
hmm
So they are gypsies too. They are
Gypsy
native to this
Queen, yeah.
culture. Exactly. So I think of this, the concept of gypsy, as a positive thing, as opposed to something that people start to get negative about. So yeah, and that's kind of like just my experience with this culture. My experience with this music has been the best.
You mentioned nomad. I've had a lot of people don't understand when they ask me, what do you do? I'm just a nomad. I just roam. Like I've moved 5 times this year already, you know. So yeah, it was actually some friends. You were one of the only other people other than I have a few friends that are, I don't know if I would call them gypsies, but they grew up in the States and stuff, but that's where their family is from, sort of the same idea. And
Mhm.
they always called me, you're like us, you're a nomad. But they were the only other people that ever mentioned that word to me. And every time I say it, nobody gets it. And you threw it out there and it caught my brain. It was like, yep, she knows.
Yeah, I feel like it's, as artists too, it's exploring, right? Just
hmm
trying different things, putting on different hats and seeing if that's something that works for you. And it's necessary, that kind of experience. So in a way, we're all gypsies because we are traveling from place to place. We're trying from one thing to another thing and seeing what works best for your music, who you are as a person. So yeah, to me that just speaks to every stage of my life, every
It almost
stage
goes
research. Yeah.
hand in hand with how everything's played out, right? Like,
Yeah.
no, that's phenomenal. Thank you. You've been such an honor to have you on tonight.
Thank you. Thank you
Uh,
so much.
we should maybe wrap it up here. We're getting close to our hour or whatever. I know we
Okay.
said we wouldn't keep you too long tonight, right?
That's
So
fine. That's fine.
I could
It's
literally
great to be
talk for
here
another
and great
hour.
to get
So
the view for the of the falls.
yes, that's so true, right?
Wow, that's amazing. We should host a show there, right?
We
Live.
could do that. Yeah, we could definitely have that once everything's unlocked for us. And
Yeah.
Yeah, we could. Oh, there's a sky cobra like 20 feet away from me.
what's a sky cobra?
A goose.
Talking about
A goose.
a
Sky
goose.
cobras.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they can be defensive.
Oh,
Oh,
they
they're
be vicious.
arrogant little mofos. And they are. I mean, I have to say something. I have not sworn once this entire show. Not once.
No, and
That's a
you've
big
done
deal.
well.
I don't know if I've done well, but thanks, TJ.
I just
So,
wanted to thank
well,
all the people who are watching and who are commenting and writing their positive messages. Thank you. There's Sarah, Kevin. We have Adam, Kevin, Sarah. Thank you guys. Thanks for
I
watching.
actually can't see the comments. I'm so happy you could see them. Is there any? I can't see them at all, right? So
I found
I
them.
was I was just thinking nobody's commenting, nobody's watching. Well,
Oh, we have
whatever,
quite
we'll
a few
roll it.
people.
Oh, nice,
Thanks for all
excellent.
the love.
Well, I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to be walking to.
oh,
I'm looking for a geocache.
okay. I was wondering what you were doing. Well, let me log in, and I'll take us off the air.
Okay.
Hi,
Well,
And
everybody. Thanks for
thank
tuning
you
in.
so much. again. So
Do you have
grateful.
anything to add at the end? Like, where do we find your merch once again? Where do we buy your CD?
Sure. Most of the things are on my website, viraburmenko.com. It's VIRA, Burmenko, BURMENKO.com. And /shop, browse through the site. There's my book, there's my videos, there's my shop with merch in there, CDs. There's also a way to opt into my newsletter. I think it's on the site. I think it's mostly my social media, but you can find my Facebook page there as well. It's Vera Burmenko Violent Dance, which is where I host most of my live streams. Find me on YouTube as well. It's Vera Burmenko. Again, you can see it all from my website. So yeah, and I hope you guys keep a
Excellent.
positive outlook during all this time, staying active, staying positive, doing something that you love, keeping yourself well. Very important to take care of yourself. Something that I've learned during this lockdown, the third wave, is that you shouldn't burn out. Don't just push yourself to work and work and work. Take some time to yourself, because you will come back into it with a clearer mind, better rested body, and you will function so much better, and you can do so much more for your community.
That's what I ended
Absolutely.
up doing today, was just sleep. I got up, I ate, I went back to sleep. I got up, I did a little promo, went back to sleep and just rested. And I feel great today. And then just talking with you, I feel extremely re-energized in that sense.
Oh, perfect.
So
I did not. I did 18,000 steps today and counting. It's been an exercise day for myself. Sometimes I take nap days, not very often though.
I did today,
So,
100%.
but it's oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Balls are lit up blue and red.
Woo!
Nice.
That's great.
So, I mean, sorry you can't
In-house?
be here, but you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a virtual experience, a tour.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't
it's not
argue
as
with
fun
that.
as sitting at the table, but I mean, when do you get to interview by the falls?
We could always
That's
carry the
true.
table down there, set it up.
Sure. We certainly could. We certainly could. Yeah, it's a weird vibe down here. Like, I've lived here my whole life, and we've never been shy of 1 million people. You know,
No,
and I mean, rightfully so. In the winter and stuff, it's kind of quiet and whatnot. But that's usually because it's cold and people are in their cars. But we still have the festival lights and people out taking pictures and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And for making sure that I get at least one in on the show,
What you
there's
got
not a
rocking
fucking soul
there?
out here.
No,
Not
not at
one.
all.
I mean, I had
Wow.
to drop at least one F-bomb. So,
Yeah.
like, there you go. Not a soul, man.
Wow.
And it's bittersweet. It's an experience because, like, I've lived here my whole life and I've never been able to see this before. I don't ever want to see this again when it's over.
No,
Ever.
right?
It's a catch-22 because we, you know, like, how do you say what is or isn't more or less important? You know, it's an odd thing. Like, what do you shut down? What do you keep open? How do you navigate through something like this? Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye out because there's like not many people down here.
Oh.
So for the amount of people that are down here, I do want to pay attention.
Yeah. But
you know, but we thrive on this, and it's not here. So, but on that note, we should probably get rid of everybody else and keep you to
play it
ourselves
loud,
for 5 minutes.
play it proud.
Thank
No
you,
matter
guys.
what you're listening
Gets it
to.
in.
Doing what you do. It's great to be able to share and connect with other artists. And
absolutely.
It gets you in a better mindset to know that people
on the
know
same,
what you're going through. Yeah, we're on the same page.
Same page. No, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well,